Doug with Yaskawa here at South Tech. So I met up with Ken Fowler. He's the COO of CyManII, and so they do cybersecurity for manufacturing. So we're used to hearing about cybersecurity for the IT departments of companies, but when it comes to manufacturing, you can imagine how much trouble it could cause if someone were to get in and start affecting your manufacturing processes. And so Ken is going to give us a quick rundown of overall what they're doing here at CyManII, and then we're going to talk to a couple other guys from their training standpoint, and then also a quick demo. So with that, Ken, thanks for introducing me and to what you guys are doing. So tell us a little bit about more of yourself.
You bet. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate your time this afternoon. Thanks for conversation about Yaskawa. So real quick, so CyManII, Cybersecurity Manufacturing Innovation Institute, we're one of 15 or 16 manufacturing innovation institutes. Some are funded by NIST, some are funded by Department of Defense, and some are funded by Department of Energy. We happen to be funded by Department of Energy to support U.S. manufacturing to become cyber secure. So just want to share a little bit about what we're doing. So we're focused on the R&D right now. We're funded to do technology readiness levels 2 through 6. So we have about 300 researchers scattered across the country working on that literally as we speak. So I first want to introduce you a very simple, quick demo. I'm going to have our Director of Engineering give that demonstration, and then we'll also introduce you to our mobile training vehicle and some of the training that we're doing as well. Brian.
Just as we speak, here we go.
Just as we speak, here's Brian Luffy. Brian's our Director of Engineering.
All right, Brian, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
I'll step out of the way for Brian to give a demo here.
So, basic demo of cybersecurity hygiene and some consequences of not doing some of the basics, right? So, this is a pretty standard robot that would be installed in, many factory floors or research facilities. And one of the things we like to do, and we have these, is we like to connect them to IT resources so that we can monitor health and status and make sure the robot's performing properly, and also just kind of make sure it's online if we're doing remote servicing. So you can see here we have a running program on the screen, and inside this is a Linux operating system. So unfortunately that makes it susceptible to a lot of the things that you can do in standard Linux. And using a default username and password, an SSH, which is also active on this, we can then install software. So in this case, we installed a VNC server. And so now with this server, we can mirror not only the display of this robot in real time, but the actions that we take in this display will affect the robot just as though we were standing in front of the console. So now we have a situation where someone who isn't in live view of the robot could be changing things, or in this case, could be halting and altering a program. So we can stop a program here and load something else in there that may have a different profile or a different outcome. In this case, it's a simple program that's designed. If you want to go ahead and stick your hand there, it's designed to give us the coin, because that's the equivalent of of taking something. So this represents itself physically in the taking of a coin, but virtually this could be the taking of IP or a custom program or things that are valuable to companies, et cetera, et cetera. So the big fear here is using access like this to modify safety parameters, which is a threat to the workforce. So
great, thank you for that demo. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you. And now we're going to go and talk with Joe about training.
Doug, let me introduce you to Joe Mallon here.
There you go,
Joe's
Joe.
part of our education workforce development team. He's standing inside of our mobile training vehicle. I think you've got some video shots of that.
Yeah, we'll take a quick spin around here.
So as you can see, we can train 16 to 20 people inside the vehicle. We also have space in the rear of the vehicle where we can bring in robots, 3D printers, any sort of advanced manufacturing type of equipment for training, demonstration, R&D purposes, etc. Or we can also use it to extend our training classroom as well.
Excellent.
So we have communications via Starlink and also 5G. We have our own network in place. You can see all the computers that we have in place here as well. So
yeah, I'll
turn it over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll share a little bit about what type of training we have inside the mobile training vehicle. I'll start off with this computer here. This semester in the fall, we're actually piloting a brand new cybersecurity esports league focused on high school students.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, very cool.
The high school students are going to be competing against each other in this esports league focused on cybersecurity. In the spring, we're going to augment the curriculum and the content to focus on manufacturing cybersecurity. Right now, it's just general cyber, but in the spring, it's going to be more focused on advanced manufacturing.
Okay, excellent.
And we hope to scale it to more schools in the region and maybe even across the country. This is the game. As you can see, it's a very Call of Duty type look and feel to it. It's, but that's the idea, is to make it fun and make it engaging, and so that the kids continue to play it even when they're outside of school. They go home and continue to play, because it's a race to the finish. It's like the more missions you do, the more bounties you do, the more points you get. You also, if you stream on Twitch for 30 minutes, you get points. If you do a little video interview and you put it on social media, so there's a lot of interaction. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're very excited. We'll have a leaderboard. Also, one of the things to point out is at the end of the league, each player gets a player card that identifies and aligns how they did with the game to knowledge and skills and abilities of nice job roles.
There you go.
Yes. So
there you go. So everyone listening, I just want to recap on that, because that is something, not all games are doing that, right?
Yes.
Like games are not doing that.
No.
So just be clear, they are aligning the skills with jobs.
Right. That's the big thing.
With jobs.
It's like, now I have a pathway. Now I understand that my strength is in forensics, or my strength is in pen testing. It's not just playing the game, but it's having that player card at the end to identify where you align and where your strengths are.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
We're real excited about that. This is the learning management system. A lot of the content that we have in here was built in-house with partnerships with Clemson and MIT and some other universities, Indiana University. So we have a lot of content that's, the thing about cybersecurity is there's a lot of cyber training out there, but focus on OT and IoT is very little out there. So we had to go out and develop our own training.
Okay.
So we have a lot of it for free for anyone that wants to tap into some of that training.
Okay. Free training.
Yeah. Ding ding ding. Yeah. So this is an extension of the cyber range that we have at the University of Texas in San Antonio. We have this training facility at UTSA in which we simulate cyber attacks in real time, and the students have to respond to the attack. So it's great for any student in the cyber field to, before they go out and get a job, go through that experience, at least going through a cyber. So this whole unit is an extension of the range, where we can bring in a technical team, right? The technical team, the IT team sits here. We throw an attack at them, and in the middle here you have the C-level folks, the management folks, also engaged in the exercise by having to respond to the crisis. So the technical team is feeding them information, saying, this is what's happening to our network, this is what's happening to our resource. And then I come up here and I post questions to this. What are you going to do now that this is happening? Should you get the FBI involved? Should we do this? Should we do that? When do we get public? So kind of going through that whole crisis simulation exercise is a wonderful experience for any company to go through.
Oh, yes.
So we hope to take this on the road and be able to take that experience right to the front door. So that's the plan. So we have a lot of training here that's hands-on, self-paced training that they can do at their own pace, or we have the whole team exercise concept.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow, what a great setup. Well, is that the rundown for you, Joe?
That's pretty much it.
Man,
that's pretty much
that's a lot going on here.
We got a little bit of
everything. Recap, starting off with the game, that to focus on, not only is it engaging and very educational, but it ties it directly to a type of job.
Nice job roles.
Nice job resume, right? So that is fantastic. And then this is where you basically designed your own software to really attack the IoT manufacturing side of cybersecurity.
Right.
And then you're getting into the platform of really the rest of your educational, to where you're bringing it all together, to where you can kind of carte blanche, but you can bring it all together here in their facility, where you're actually putting together a live scenario of, hey, here's a real world attack, and how do we attack it as a team? So
right.
What a great system. Well, thank you, Joe, so much for the run through. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ken, thanks again.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate your time again, Doug.